is Dead Noah, I mean Dead Fusion, and we got Dead Mohican over here. How are you guys doing?
It's been
It's been a
alright.
it's been a fat minute, man.
Been a while since we last did our last stream. I remember like 6 months ago when I did that 15-minute stream. We were saying that we are gonna have more podcast episodes and streams, but that was like half a year ago.
Yeah, and then we just like up and like never actually
Well, I
fulfilled
always kept
that.
bringing up the fact, but you guys are always like, no.
We just didn't have time, man. We were busy and
We did have the time.
no, we didn't show up. But
Yeah,
anyways, we're back.
we are.
So how's your guys' day been, man?
Uh, no, it's been perfect.
It's been perfect.
Yeah.
What's your definition of perfect?
Um, laid in bed.
Laid in bed. That's your definition of perfection. Sounds great.
I'm
So
just joking. No, I was cleaning and cooking.
what about you, Noah? How's life been for you, man? Pretty good. 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 We have one person on the air. So basically, what I was going to bring up is there's a lot of crap that's been going on in 2020 so far. When was our last
So,
podcast actually filmed? What day was that?
I don't know.
You know, I mean, if I'm correct, I believe that it was
It was a year ago.
it had been it was in 2019, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So to fill you guys in, a lot of things happened to me. I can tell you that I moved out of my parents' place and then moved back in the same month. No, I'm joking. It was like a couple months later, but it it was an interesting time to experience actual adulting on my own, which was pretty cool to experience. And I will tell you that 2020 has really thrown a lot of curveballs my way,
Yeah.
and things that I would have never
And
expected
and
me
for
to
that
do.
definition for you people that don't know what a curveball is, it's basically my ball curve.
Yeah, it's basically self-explanatory. um, so yeah, so with that being said, I really just experienced a lot of new things in my life and opened up a new chapter, which I was just kind of shocked about, and I was, excited to see different things happen to me that I wasn't, prepared for, because that just opened new doors for me to figure out how to be myself and experience life in a new way and things like that. Um, and for crying out loud, we had a couple people, famous people who died. Chadwick Boseman. Uh, we had Kobe.
Rest in peace.
We had Kobe who passed.
And
Who,
his daughter.
yeah, it's crazy, man. And then we got the COVID still going on, which is crazy. That's not saying much though, because a lot of people are not taking precautions the way they should. But it's fine. It's whatever. Sorry, I have a little cold going on. All right. So, what about you, Darian? Speak a bit about what's going on there.
Um, 2020 for me, it's been kind of a clusterfuck, honestly, and it's just been scrambled. Like every month is something new. Uh, you know, just doing stuff here and there, trying to
Yeah.
keep myself busy and be safe the whole time.
Oh, hello. We got a mic issue right there. Don't know whose mic that was. What about you, Noah? How's that going for you? You wanna embrace it a little bit? Hello. Hold on, we're experiencing some technical difficulties. What's going on? Hello? Can you hear me now? All right. Didn't That was weird. Want to elaborate what's going on with you and what's going on a little little brief of 2020 for you, man. That's very specific. Just not much, man. Just life.
But it's not public speaking.
Yeah, it's kind of public speaking, but not. But like, can you see how
But,
it's not?
you know what they say? Just imagine the audience is naked for you.
Is the audience me and you? um, uh, yeah, but all in all, so Darian, I have a question for you.
Yeah, shoot.
Have you been reading any conspiracy theories lately?
Yeah, honestly, and it's a pretty big one.
Let's hear it. Well, Mr. Public Speaker over here doesn't want to get into it.
Yeah.
It's crazy, man.
Well, I don't know, but there's.
You just said it's a big one.
Going around. Yeah.
I don't know, but it's a big one.
Well, I don't know
it's in
how to
there
explain
somewhere.
it, but because basically everyone knows about this, but mainstream media is not really covering it. So, what do we know? What's fact and what's not? But most likely, mostly everyone in Hollywood's a pedophile and
I've-
basically involved in human trafficking with Epstein's flight logs and shit.
Dude.
And apparently, the list has Justin Roiland, Dan Harmon,
Justin
I think,
Roiland. Who's Justin Roiland?
he does the voices for Rick and Morty.
Oh, okay.
Seth Green is one of the biggest ones I heard. Same with Tom Hanks and Ellen and Katy Perry. And...
Correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't what's his name? Kevin Spacey on there somewhere?
Yes, Kevin Spacey is a big one. I mean, that shouldn't be a surprise.
Yeah, I mean, he's that's
He literally looks like a creep.
I am a creep. I am that creep.
A goof.
No, I'm joking.
He's a big fat goof. But yeah, the animation. Dan Harmon, the one where the video came out with him fucking a baby doll.
What?
Yeah. He was doing a spoof on Dexter.
So, but that's weird.
But basically, yeah, yeah.
That's gross.
He like drugs the dad and then he breaks into their house and tries to fuck a baby doll.
What the heck?
Yeah.
Ew.
And people are getting mad because they think that's fucked up, but then there's people that are defending Dan Harmon and shit, saying, "Oh, you don't have a sense of humor. Oh, you're not fucking funny. Oh, this and that." You know, and like, what's so funny about like imitating fucking a child, minor, an infant, not even an infant,
Dude.
like.
This world's going to hell in a handbasket.
Rick and Morty is getting canceled, and I honestly couldn't care less. I honestly
Is it actually?
Dude, yeah, I honestly do not like Rick and Morty.
Family Guy's better. Family Guy's goat.
I don't know. I'm falling out with Family Guy and Simpsons now. Everything old.
I don't like
is so much better.
I don't like The Simpsons.
I don't know. I always grew up with The Simpsons, but backtracking. I think Eminem was also on that list, but nobody's really talking about that.
Man said I diss Trump. I'm gonna diss the kids too.
MGK fans be like, "We finally won. We finally
won. We finally won. We got the dub. We got the dub."
And then it just turns out MGK's on that list too. I'm joking. He's not, but I don't know. That would have been ironic. But it was a joke. I've my freedom to speech. It's libel. It's defamation. Like what PewDiePie did to T-Series, which was not defamation.
Hold your defecation. Yeah. Um. But where that's leading, I mean, dude, that's where like I'm sitting here like at this point, hold on.
Also, there was a video that surfaced. It's really fucking disturbing, and I honestly wish I never found this video or was actually like heard about it. But it's basically about a priest. No big surprise there, but a priest, like a big,
I'm gonna stop you. I'm gonna stop you right there really quick. When he said that, he meant that in a joking manner. There was no religion bashing meant for that at all.
No, this isn't religion bashing. It's literally
I
just
know,
a
but
priest.
I was just like establishing, just so people don't take it as
Yeah,
your religion bashing.
yeah. Don't take it as a joke. Yeah, priest don't. Not every priest is a creep.
Just like every politician's not a pedophile. Sorry. Okay. All right. Well, we
We
going.
should be laughing at that, but ow. But I don't know. His name's John, I guess. He's some kind of priest at some big fucking church. I don't know. But it's basically one of those big ass fucking chapels where like you have like a lot of people go and
Yeah.
watch, and it's basically
So
recorded.
basically a super church.
Yeah, basically a super church, and it's like him talking about saving the kids and like loving the kids and shit. And then it cuts to a video of him in like a basement or some shit with some kind of lights. Then you hear this kid crying hit her heart out or some shit. He's like, "Say my fucking name! Say my fucking name! What's my name?" And she's like, "John." And then he's like, "That's not my fucking name. I told you to call me." And then he like proceeds to hit her, I guess, or some shit off camera, and you just hear her crying and shit in a dark room. And then she keeps calling him daddy and shit, and his voice sounds so fucking familiar to the priest that was preaching.
Dude.
I don't know if anyone could find that video. I honestly forget what it was called because I was honestly disgusted by that.
Well, here's the question: was his name actually John the priest?
Yeah,
So there's too much of a coincidence for it not to be.
exactly.
I mean, dude, when that comes down to that stuff, dude. I don't know why. Well, I do know why because it's disgusting. I just get like a very like topsy turny feeling in my stomach just hearing that. I hate hearing that. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's just every time I hear something like that, it just really truly just makes me just disgusted, and I'm not saying it like makes my faith in humanity go away, but it doesn't help it. It does not help the case at all. Hearing stuff like that, and I mean, a lot of things that like politicians and things like that say, off camera, it's disgusting. I mean, granted, I will admit, I said some like weird things, like not to that extent, when I'm hanging out with friends, but not that disgusting. But when it comes down to someone slandering another person, it's just horrible. It's just God, dude. I mean, I don't understand how someone can be so cruel and be so disgusting in the same manner. That's where I will sit here and say I have faith for humanity, but people like that make it hard to have faith for humanity.
Yeah, and it's people like that that give religion, like, people in power a bad name. Well, it's not even that, but it's like people who are big inspirations to other people that give the real people that actually want to help a bad name. And it's like the same thing that goes for native people too. Like native people that drink every day and like party, and like people with addictions. It's not really their fault, and for
I
people to
actually
be
I
ignorant.
actually just talked about this on Twitter. Um,
Ooh.
FaZe Rain, he came out and was saying like how he was addicted to opioids and all this stuff, and a person decided to reply to that tweet saying, "Well, just don't do it." I was like, you can't
It's
just
kind
say
of, yeah, you
that,
can't
because
just stop.
that's like telling a depressed person don't be sad. It's a mental imbalance for someone to feel like they need to have drugs for a leverage. Um, I'm not condoning drugs, because obviously if you can stay away from them, stay away from them. Um, and I mean, when the saying "you are who you hang with" really impacts that theory too, because if you consistently hang out with someone who's like doing hardcore drugs like that, it's gonna push onto you. And if you don't feel like you would be strong enough to tell them no, I honestly don't suggest you hang around those people. But at the same time, if those people are like family and things like that, you can't just push them away and shut them out. So people who look at it like, oh, well, just don't do them and then you won't be addicted. That really is very, that's not the case at all. It's just such a mental imbalance right there that, they can't necessarily help it. Uh, is if once you get, say you break your leg and the doctor prescribes you painkillers, you're gonna feel like you're obligated to take them. Once you take them, you get that taste of relief. Once you get that taste of relief, you want more, and then you think that relief can, push onto your mental health, things like that, when in reality it's slowly, decreasing it. And you really shouldn't be doing it, but people still do it because once you're addicted, it feels like, the whole world is crashing down around you, that you have to do it, and 24/7. And I'm saying this, I would go as far as to say the people who just instantly go, oh yeah, just don't do it and stay away from them. To an extent, that's very ignorant to jump to and say, due to the fact of you don't know what's going on in their life. Don't sit there and critique someone's life when you haven't been in their shoes. And you people really need to take into consideration that it is easy to say no, but it's also easy to do. Because monkey see, monkey do. I mean, we've all heard that saying since we were like, what, 5? Yeah. I feel like I'm rambling on a lot.
You are. I'm kidding. But I agree, and the biggest problem with that um is uh people that do have addictions and do suffer from addictions, it's not really their fault. And people that do it, it's for like a sense of relief to get over that
I
and
wanna,
stop
I want,
feeling like,
I wanna apologize really quick. My headset just died. I did not hear what you said.
oh, you could. I basically said it's people that have addictions. It's not their fault that they're
I mean,
addicted to something.
really, anything can be an addiction if you let it.
Yeah,
Literally anything.
like there's people that get addicted to work, like where
Unfortunately,
they feel like,
unfortunately, I'm not
yeah,
one of those people.
me neither. But there's people like are addicted to like working out, and there's people, and the reasons why I feel like people get addicted to that kind of stuff is because they see someone doing it and they're like, oh, that's cool, I want to be like that. But
It's also really, when it comes down to it, I mean, some
it could
people are
be
just
because of
bored with their,
trauma.
and people are just bored with their life and just want to feel that empty void, and they don't know how, so they, push addiction to it. They
Mhm.
push, what they feel like they've always known to that, and they feel like, that's the only obligation they can do with it.
Oh, yeah.
Give me a quick second. Also, if you are watching this, you can engage in the comments too. Um, and we'll go off those too. But when um, when it boils down to it, if you have an empty void in your life and you feel like you have to, consistently fill it with something, I mean, I would suggest you do it with a healthy manner and not something that, can be deemed unhealthy. And when I mean unhealthy, you can work out too much, uh, you can always overeat, things like that, which is very, very unhealthy, and can ruin more of a mental health than what's already been in the process of corroding.
I don't mean to cut in, but I'll be excused for a few minutes, and I'll be
All right,
right back.
all right, that's fine. Um, so, do you have anything you want to add to that? No? Do you feel like you have anything, you want to add to it? You're like, no, I'm good. So, um, is there anything you've read about recently that, that's kind of getting under your skin? Like about celebrities and things like that? What about Shane Dawson? What happened with him? The whole Shane Dawson thing? I'm talking about? This witch is this witch is really dodging my bullets or arrows. But all right, COVID. No, all right. What do you have for that? Well, it's a pain in the butt, due to the fact of, uh, what? You said oh, but, anyways, so COVID-19 is really, kicking my butt due to the fact of, you know, issues with jobs, things like that. I can only say, like, I'm happy for, the fact that I'm getting unemployment right now, because, every time I, show up at someone's house to do the roof, they look over and go, yo, go home. Like, don't be here. Wear a mask. I don't know, just something stupid like that, basically shunning me out, because even though I'm wearing a mask, they would be like, get upset with me, because I'm showing up on the property. I'm just like, well, you hired me, so, I'm here, but okay, I'll leave. So it's kind of an issue right there, but that's about it. Um, so are you into conspiracy theories at all? Yeah. So are
Alright,
you?
I'm back.
Hi, welcome back. Um,
Hey.
so, um, basically the one that I followed up the most on was the whole conspiracy theory about the whole 9/11 incident with Bush. I did so much freaking research into that. I'm not even joking. It's bad, like an unhealthy, you know, bad. What's your favorite conspiracy theory, Darian?
Mine, oh, I would say 9/11, but honestly, I think my favorite conspiracy theory that I actually did research on and tried to put my own like investigation together for it. This is back in high school, by the way, but I guess something is like there's I wouldn't call this a conspiracy theory. I guess it's more of an urban legend, but it kind of I don't know. It's similar and falls into the same category, but around where I live, he's beating around the bush. This is technically not a conspiracy theory, but where I live, there's different reserves, there's
I'm
different
gonna cut you
communities,
guys
different
off really
towns,
quick. I'm gonna cut you off really
and
quick. I'm going to take a little moment really quick. So I'll be right back.
all right. Um, so Noah, and anyone else who's listening. Basically, where I live, we have different reserves in different towns where I live, more up north, and there's a place called Little Red or John Doerr, and there's stories where there's people like that live in the bush, and they're like wild people, like savage people. And I'm not saying that because like they're native, and that's not what I'm saying, but I mean like savage in a way where like they're not up to date with civilization. They're not civilized. Uh, that kind of sounded rude. Sorry, but I don't I don't know how to put it. I'm also native, by the way, for you guys that don't know. I'm also native. And it's kind of weird for me to talk about that in a way, but basically what I'm trying to say is there's people that live in the bush, and there's stories where kids would go outside and play, and these people would come and snatch kids playing outside and like eat them back in the bush and shit. And there would be kids going missing, pets going missing, people going missing. So a lot of them got guns, stuff ready, and they went tracking, and they found like a big camp of these people, and they shot them all. And they found like all these remains and shit around there, and people don't really talk about that anymore. And it's like it's pretty fucking scary to think like there's stuff that used to be like that, but it could just be an urban legend, like I said. And for it to be so close to home is kind of weird. But also another thing for the Save Our Children thing that's going around on Facebook, I think that's a good start to help raise awareness to or human trafficking, child abuse, sexual abuse, like just anything overall that falls in the category. And I think it's a good way to get it out there because there's actually pedophiles getting arrested, there's pedophile rings getting busted, and children get being saved. And I guess also what falls into that category, it's like indigenous lives as well. So like women, indigenous women and children and men that actually do get abducted and killed, which is pretty common, and it's fucking sad to see our brothers and sisters getting murdered by these disgusting oil pigs and just all these toxic fucking racists out there that feel like they need to take their anger out on a whole race. And not too long ago, we had a child who I don't want to say her name, but um, I just out of respect for the family because this girl was 13 and she went missing for a few days, and she's from John Doerr, Little Red as well, and like basically just what I was talking about for the urban legend there. And she went missing for a few days, and they found human remains, and it turned out it was her that was found, and that's so close to home. And like she's only 13, and a lot of people I know knew her, and it's sad to see someone so young get abducted and killed before they even had a chance to live life, a full life at least. And that's the reality is I don't I think they caught the guy who killed her, and I hope to God that he rots in hell and rots in a jail cell or he gets fucking killed. Because anyone who does the same thing to that deserves the same punishment, in my opinion. That's my opinion. And just to see our brothers and sisters murdered kind of makes me wonder. It makes me scared knowing that if I have kids, my kids are gonna be high targets for this kind of shit. So this, I don't know how to, I don't know what we could do to stop it. Because like, there's always gonna be people, and there's gonna be people that are psychopaths and shit, and you wouldn't know that could be um murderers and shit, and you wouldn't even know it. And there was also another girl from Edmonton that this is like probably the most popular one in Alberta. She's been missing for a while now, and she's presumed dead. Um, I think. Hang on. I'm just trying to look up the exact name. I think, but yeah, and it's a sad reality knowing that there's Indigenous people's lives who are threatened because they're more at risk for this kind of shit. And mainstream media won't really cover it. And I don't want to sound rude, but you never really see Amber Alerts for kids who are black or native or another ethnicity, but it's always like white kids who go missing, and then they're found, and they're found alive. And whenever you have like people going missing, there's nothing brought up to that. Just posters and gas stations that are saying missing persons report and shit. Yeah, that's pretty much it for that. And that, uh, fuck, I'm trying to think. I'm trying to remember who that girl was. Um, there's another YouTuber named Rainbot who actually covered this in the most disturbing video or something. I don't know what it's called, but she actually covered this case very well. The one I was talking about, the girl that went missing in Edmonton, Alberta, here, which is like pretty fucking. It's sad, and she's still never been found, and her killer's never been found still. And I'm just trying to think. I'm just trying to remember who it was. And it shouldn't really be focused on this one person, like what I'm trying to find. It's really just everyone too that goes missing. And I don't know. Hmm. Yeah, it is. I hope so too. And it took up to 2 million posts about it, and that kind of recognition just to bring this up into mainstream media finally. And it's fucked up. Yeah. Um. Yeah, that's fucked up. Um, yeah, that rainbow video. Um, I don't know. I forget what the video was called, but it had disturbing stories from our disturbing world. I'm pretty sure it was number two or number three. It was one of those, but it actually covered the case that for that woman, and yeah, I'm sorry, I forget her name. Um, it's just there's so many cases out there, and this is like people's mothers, sisters, brothers, fathers, sons, relatives that go missing and they're not found, or if they are found, they're either alive or dead, which is the sad truth. And I think it's time we help raise awareness to that, because like Black Lives Matter, and it's a good movement. And even though I kind of disagree with the riots and like destroying people's businesses, um, I mean I see why they're doing it, because I really have no place to say, because here in Canada they literally had a fucking riot because a hockey team lost in Vancouver for the Stanley Cup playoffs, and there's a whole big riot. There's cars flipped over, burning and shit. Yeah, hockey's crazy up here, and oh yeah, yeah, that's. I mean, I don't know. I honestly, yeah. I mean, I kind of am a big fan of sports, but I like anything. I usually like playing basketball, volleyball, golf, hockey, baseball, dodgeball, paintball, airsoft, stuff like that. Um, but just I guess just moving forward with what I was saying, the Black Lives Matter movement. All lives matter, but KKK. Oh, okay, wait. What I meant to say was all lives don't matter, because the KKK lives don't matter, the neo Nazis lives don't matter, the racist lives don't matter. But it's for all us minorities, all our black brothers and sisters that are getting outraged for the police brutality in the States. They're feeling the same pain we're feeling out here in Canada. And I just want to say that we're with you guys 100% of the way, because I know I am. And I guess we're just all in this together. Black Lives Matter. I know I said all lives matter, and but Black Lives Matter too. Everyone should stand up for that. Everyone should stand up for Indigenous Lives Matter as well. There's the I Don't Know More movement, which I was also a part of. I actually went and drummed in a flash mob with my own personal drum, and I didn't sing. I just played, and being there with those people while they were singing, you just feel that power, and it was amazing. It was a once in a lifetime experience, and I absolutely enjoyed it. I think the video is actually on YouTube, and I was actually on the front. I was actually in the front with those guys. I'm wearing like this big oversized winter jacket that's like green checkered and shit. It's a I don't know more movement in high level. That's what it was. I think 2014, maybe 20 something like that. But yeah, I had my own custom drum with me, and it was real cold out. And after the drumming and everything, I shook hands with the drummers and went back to my truck, warmed up, and I was really cold. But being there, I just felt warm, drumming with everyone, and it was so awesome. And yeah, just moving forward from that, just don't be ignorant. Black Lives matters, and Indigenous lives matter too. Fuck it, all minority lives matter as well, because we're all facing the backlash from fucking white America and these people in politics that call us criminals and savages and like think we're all money hungry. And being native, it's the fucking worse than Canada because everyone's still so ignorant, especially in Alberta, oil country, which is so fucking toxic as a community. And don't get me wrong, I know people um in that kind of work that are cool and they actually support it, which is fucking awesome. Some of them are, but some of them are real fucking pigs and racist and ignorant, and these try to use white prejudice to go up against us natives. And there's even natives that are racist against other natives. I'm sure that you probably know people that are the same way for other people of color, and it's kind of sad because there's people that are like, oh, this native person likes to drink, they like to party all the time, they like to do drugs. They're the reason why they make us natives look bad. And well, instead of calling them down, help them like feel better. There's a reason why they're there, and it's because of that systematic trauma passed down from generations of abuse throughout the years, and like coming from residential school, almost having 98% of the population of native people in all of North America wiped out, to having 3 million bison just go get killed from the government and waste all that meat, waste all that bone, which is that's a true thing, by the way. There's a photo out there with so many bison skulls piled on top of each other like a fucking mountain, and there's all these white hunters on top of that looking happy, knowing that they're killing off native people. Because we still hunt, but back then we our people relied on that for everything, for the meat to cook, to eat, the bone for tools and stuff, the the fur, the hide for warmth, and for anything else really. And one thing is, native people in North America, they were known as I wouldn't say gatekeepers. I guess they were keepers of the land. If they took care of the land. That's pretty much what most of them were called. And we never really had um they never really fought against each other until the settlers came and shit. We all lived in harmony, I guess, on Turtle Island, but we wouldn't know because we weren't there. But that's just what was passed down. Everyone was respectful of each other, and then we got when the settlers came, Christopher Columbus, we got smallpox, we got disease, we got guns and alcohol and a lot of stuff, and there's even native people that were slaves too, and that's not really mentioned in a lot of textbooks, but it's true. And I guess what I'm just trying to say for that is um we had it the worst when the settlers came, and then black people came, and then it's just power hungry white people pretty much back in that time of age. And I don't know. I feel like I'm giving a history lesson here, like a lecture. Um, honestly, just yeah. I honestly don't know where to go. I did not know where I was going with that, but um, I know my head's just jumpy because I'm trying to think what to say when
Hey,
to it.
what's up, people?
Yo, and I yeah. Do
person
your
wanted
research on that.
a, a
Okay.
person a person wanted to know how to change oil. I had to go in depth with it. All right, so what are we talking about? What happened?
Mm.
Do I need to turn off stream?
I'm not calling out white people. I'm just saying back in that time of age. Yeah. Oh, oh yeah. I forgot to say. There's even some white people out there that are cool and support these movements. Thank you guys. You guys are awesome.
All right, I'm gonna little slither my little white self in here really quick. Um, to clear everything up, I don't know what was said. Um, again, I watched a little bit of it and then I had to go into detail with how to change oil, but because they decided to take out the filter before anything else, and anyway, not the point. So, um, what can I get a little brief summary of what happened and what was said so I can
I was talking about well, me and Noah were talking about the Save Our Children movement, which we think is like really good.
well, it needs to happen. Yeah.
Yeah. Then I started talking about how that kind of implies with something that happened up here recently. There was a 13-year-old girl that went missing, and they found her remains a few days later.
Oh,
And
I'm talking about I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the whole racist part. What's going on right there?
I didn't say anything about. Well, oh yeah, I did. I said all lives don't matter if they're racist, neo Nazis, Nazis, or KKK.
I
That's what I
feel
said.
I feel as if that's kind of given. All Lives Matter movement is a protest to a protest,
Exactly.
which shouldn't be a thing. Um,
But
and
then I,
at the same time, you know, I understand both sides of the spectrum with both protests.
yeah, but I said in
Whether
my opinion that for Black Lives Matter, it's people are the ignorant people are looking at it as like it's only black people that are rising up. Black Lives Matter should mean everyone's rising up for them, you know?
I mean, when it comes down to it, a lot of people are rising up for them. The only people who really aren't is the boomers.
Yeah. And the people getting their businesses destroyed.
And I don't condone that though. I don't condone any violent behavior.
Yeah, I said, I think I basically said that too.
I don't condone any violence to another violent protest because when it comes down to it, if you're tired of, and I'm saying this as a whole, and if it comes off as racist, it comes off as racist. But I'm not meaning it in that aspect. If your solution to violence is more violence, there's an issue. I'm not against protests. Protests,
It's like the quote from
that's
Batman.
protests are I don't know what quote you're talking about, but if
The one where it's like you kill a killer, then the amount of killers in the world will still the same. Will still be the
exactly,
same.
exactly,
But
and
what if you kill
and
100 killers? Then
Darian,
okay,
you're
sorry.
then you're then you're no better than that killer. But
Yeah, but
when
then that's
when it
99 less.
when it comes down to it, if we sit here and have a protest about Black Lives Matter, Black Lives do matter, and I'm not going to fight against that. But I will also sit behind saying that I don't think we should defund the police. I think there should be a more of an in-depth training in the police academy, things like that. And I believe more action should be taken to the ones who are shown any signs of racism, even in the slightest. Because if you hate one person, you're gonna hate the whole community. Because together we all bleed red. We all are together in this world, and
And that's
we all need to fight to survive.
the
It's survival at its
same
fittest.
thing.
If
People saying Blue Lives Matter. There's no
guy,
such thing as blue lives.
here,
Your occupation does not define the color of your skin.
that's true. But when it also comes down to it, if if you say blue lives, you know, they do matter, but that's a given though. That you know, it's not, you know, apparent to say, uh, yeah, cops don't matter. Um, but to the people who are, you know, completely screaming F50 things like that. I mean, I say this as a white male, and you know, I will say, you know, a person's issue with a cop could be completely different than mine because, like I said, I am a white male. I do not understand. I will not. I understand that I will never understand. Um, you know, the struggle, things like that. But I could tell you that I've seen cops in the community who helped people and don't want to hurt them, and I've seen cops who are completely ignorant and completely, you know, uh, completely racist and things like that. And the incident with Mr. George Floyd, that should have never ever happened. No man in the right mind should have done that. Um, but I don't agree with the violence. I don't agree with any violence. I don't. What happened in Minnesota, I completely stand behind the governor and not fixing up the property because the people need to live in their destruction that they created. Um, I agree with that. If you want to create destruction, you live in that destruction. Um, until you learn that we need to be together in a community and live as a community and be together as a community and not just be against everybody 24/7. And I'm tired of the racism and I'm tired of, you know, I'm tired of the ignorance. And but the thing is, a simple protest does not change it. I wish it would. I really do. I wish it was that easy. But there's more to being in a better community. There's more to it than just having a simple little protest. There's way more to it than just sitting there with picket signs screaming at cops. If you scream at cops, what is that going to accomplish? I'm just saying. I mean, I understand there's been movements in the past that have changed. Martin Luther King has completely flipped the world upside down with one speech. It was. I'm not saying it's impossible, but at the same time, if we're tired of the violence, then we need to work as a community. That the problem doesn't start with one person. The problem ends with us. So
And I think one thing that we should all put behind is gang violence as well, which is honestly a really stupid idea on its own.
what does it
Because
accomplish?
then you have people that are black on black violence, and then you have like all these different gangs going up against each other, and then you got gangs out here in Canada, which is mostly made up of natives,
There's
native
a
kids, which is sad.
there's a
And
huge there's a huge ginormous division line with um, BLM, and it ticks me off. Um, the reason why I say
and
it ticks me off is because we have people who say they support all lives matter, but the question is, why are you supporting the protest of all lives matter when you don't want to support the BLM? I agree that people who are in the BLM took it too far, like a lot of leftists take politics too far, and they take incidences too far. For crying out loud, Noah, who's the actor who played Ralph Dibny? Do you remember his name? So the actor who plays Ralph Dibny, I'm sorry I forgot his name. He tweeted out some racial and sexist things in the past, and I'm against, you know, that full-heartedly, but at the same time, we have to understand that he also tweeted out saying he's sorry about it, saying that it should have never happened, things like that. He even went to the extent to delete the tweets, and Once he deleted the tweets, it was too late. People screenshotted, and that was in 2012. Why is it affecting him in 2019 when it happened? Why does that happen in 2019? That should have never ever affected his career the way it did. And then getting called out by people he called friends, saying that they don't agree with him. Like Grant Gustin, I love Grant Gustin, and he's an amazing actor. He is a great person, and he's he's genuine hearted. But when you sit there and bash on someone you used to call a best friend because they said something in 2012 that was racial, I'm sorry to say, but that back then, even freaking what's his name, Kevin Hart was making racial jokes like that. Why does it matter if he said he was sorry in 2013? He apologized in 2013. Why is it affecting him in 2019, 2020? It just doesn't add up to me. I mean, if that was your career and someone ripped it right out of your hands because you made a mistake, I'm sorry to say, but screw those people who brought that up. It's stupid. You shouldn't have brought up someone's past because everybody has a past in some way, some sort of manner, and bringing it up 24/7 is horrible. And I'm sorry to say, but you shouldn't be doing that. I mean, granted, if it was like, say now, and he randomly said that and didn't apologize for it and didn't acknowledge that he did it, I agree he should not have his position the way he did. But if he went to the extent to make things right, I don't see a problem with it. Well, I do see a problem with him tweeting it, but I don't see a problem with him, you know, um, apologizing about it, and I just don't think he should have lost his whole career for that. Anything you guys want to add to
Not really. It was pretty much well said.
that? And if anything in this podcast had came off as a racial discrimination to anybody, I apologize. Like I said, I'm saying this from a white guy's perspective. Um, and like I said, I will never understand. I will understand the fact that I will never understand, and I will support any movement that involves equality full-heartedly. But the thing is, if we want equality, we have to give everybody equality. And I'm not saying that because of all lives matter, blah blah blah. I'm saying that because we can't just be one-sided of the fence 24/7. I agree, Black Lives Matter, and I will support the BLM movement until I'm dead. But Black lives can't matter. I mean, sorry, all lives can't matter until Black lives matter.
And that kind of reminds me of the quote that I like. It's like where there's a house on fire in this neighborhood. Um,
My house is
then the fire department.
what about my house? It's important. Well, your house is on fire. Well, my house is still important. We're not saying your house is not important.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree with that, and I agree that we shouldn't fight a protest with another protest, but at the same time we shouldn't be digging at people's past to ruin their life now just because they said something along something stupid back in 2012, 2011, whatever. Digging up their past, even if if they didn't apologize for it, they could be a changed person now, and I feel like it should be brought to their attention, like, hey, what was this about? Was this meant as a joke? Was this being serious? Blah blah blah, all this good stuff. I feel like that should be taken in that offense, to that extent at that point if you never apologize for it. But when people are apologizing and trying to make things right, and they lose their whole life over something like that, dude, that's messed up. But I will sit here and I will say, defunding the police, what does that solve? I mean, if we defund the police and all that good stuff, then I mean, nobody would want to go to work. I mean, the pay for police is already crap. I mean, they're doing that to help the. I'm sorry. Let me rephrase that. Majority of them wants to help the what is it called? The community. But I did see a video of a cop, and it was a riot going on, and the cop pulled out a riot shield and completely beat the crap out of a person with it. But the thing is, the person was white, so nobody was talking about that issue. I mean, it it doesn't just revolve in one community, but at the same time, the black ones seems like they're the ones who are strictly getting attacked. I will say though, the murder of George Floyd, I didn't see it as a, racial crime until it was brought out as a racial crime, saying that he had past intentions, I mean, like past issues with people of color, of him, hurting them. Then I saw it as a racial crime. Then, in the beginning, I saw it as a innocent man getting killed by a cop, and I don't know if, I'm not a minority, and I can't, I can't see it through that way until it happened. But I had the mindset of this is a horrible crime that should have never even happened. I saw it as that. I didn't take it as a racial crime until it was brought to the attention of it being a racial crime. And I will admit I thought it was getting blown out of proportion at the time, saying it was a racial crime and things like that, until that all that crap came up about him having a history with black on white on black violence. And I will say that it's horrible, and I'm glad that man was arrested, but I hate how it was handled in the beginning. It was a crap way of how they handled it in the beginning, and they should have handled it a lot better than what they did. But defunding the whole police for one man, for a couple, not one man, because this crime's been going on for a while, and it's a huge issue in the community. Um, but when it comes down to murder, things like that, if say I was to get my family was to get shot by one black guy, is it safe for me to say that black guys are just all murderers? I don't think that would be a good idea, because one, that would come off as hecka racist. Um, Even though I don't mean it in that sense. I was just saying, hey, thanks for collecting that. But I didn't mean it in that sense. I meant it in the sense of, hey, well, he killed my family. I'm mad. I'm very, very upset at this one person. And I can't hate the whole community for that. I can't, because they didn't hurt me. No one else in that community ever hurt me. And I believe that a black man should not be terrified of getting pulled over by a cop thinking it's going to be his last day of breathing. I hate how they have that feeling. I hate that with a burning passion. I want to live in a world where a person of color can be pulled over and not feel like that's going to be their last day on earth. I want to live in a world like that. But if we're going to sit here and have more violence to solve violence, we're going to have more violence, and that's going to lead into another person getting hurt, because of that. If we want to live in a peaceful society, we need to inflict on that and not start rioting and looting stores. Protesting is okay. Rioting, I feel as if it's not, depending on how extreme it is, at least. And let me clarify on that. Depending on how extreme it gets, things like that. Do you guys not want to add anything on that?
No.
Yeah. Um, right. Um, but about the Save the Children movement, I was actually reading a lot about Erica Baker, and that name probably sounds familiar to Noah. I don't know if it sounds familiar to you at all, no, Darian. But Erica Baker was a young female. She was killed potentially. They still haven't found her body. Um, and she was walking her dog one day, and the dog, I guess, came home. I might choke up the story a little bit, and if I do, I apologize, and you guys can stop me and correct me if you know the story along the lines of what I'm saying. She was walking her dog, and the dog came home while she didn't. And they didn't know, hold on, I got it. And they didn't know where, she went. And so, with that being said, the dog came home, everything like that, and they found a van that had blood on it. They matched it. I don't think they matched it to Erica in particular, and so the hunt was still going. Then they found the guy who owned the van, and the guy who owned the van basically said that he hit Erica, and him and his buddy had criminal backgrounds in the past before, and that he went ahead and buried her body because um, he didn't want to go to jail for another crime. And so he ended up obviously, going to prison for that. But the area that he told the police that he hit her body, turned out that it wasn't the case at all. Um, they dug up the area that he claimed where she was. There was no body there. So right now, the only theory that they came up with is that the poor girl got, kidnapped and sold up into sex slavery, which is horrible to think. And they still don't know where her whereabouts are or where her body is, and the case is still open after 20 years of searching. And that truly breaks my heart to hear that.
They say that the average life expectancy for traffic, sex traffic, like people who are in that, children or whatever, is maximum of 7 years.
Yeah. And it's so sad. And it's so surreal too because I lived relatively close to where she was, picked up at. Noah, have you ever been to the Kettering wreck? That's where she was picked up at. She was picked up at this. That's where she was picked up at the Kettering wreck. And it's just so surreal because of how close, I am to the area of where it happened, and I feel as if we need to we just God, that poor family. I mean, just thinking about the fact that that the mom that the dad will never walk her down the aisle to you know be with the man that she would marry and things like that. It just breaks my heart to hear. I mean, but Um, but I saw another article, and I can't remember exactly what it was, but it basically said something along the lines of this girl who what is it? This girl who either lived with her dad or she got kidnapped or something. I think she lived with her dad though, and her dad would rape her and just shove her in a closet and hide her in the closet. And every time his friends would come over, they would all just get in there too, and he will let them do whatever they wanted to her. And this world's messed up, man. This world is so messed up.
It's true.
But do you have anything, Darian, you want to talk about in particular?
I already spoke about that earlier, but I was mainly focusing on the more Canadian issue for I don't know more, and just like more indigenous as well, because there's more indigenous people in Canada that are getting abducted.
Yeah.
And there's people bragging about it all over Facebook and shit, saying they go to reserves and they take kids and they go and sell them and shit.
So messed up. I mean, I don't understand how people can be so twisted. I really don't. No, is there any stories like that you know of? Are you a villager now? Look, man, you gotta engage in conversation too. Well, I'm anti-political and Darian's Canadian.
Yeah, I'm not good at that.
So, um, yeah, that's not very.
That's like me talking about the Canadian election.
Hey man, just get rid of the guy who did blackface, and isn't that what your guys' prime minister or whatever
Justin
did?
Trudeau,
Yeah.
but he got reelected.
Did he actually?
Hmm.
Dude, that's a big oof. Did he get reelected recently, or like, is he on his last term?
I think last year. Oh.
Dude, just get him out of there. Like, I want him out of there.
Can we just impeach him? Can we start a movement where we impeach Trudeau?
God.
Can we
Knowing
just like
him.
have a year where we don't have government and we just all chill, please?
Well, that probably wouldn't be the best idea, but. Oh, dang it. But. Dude, that.
Technically, we don't need a government to exist. The only reason we need government to exist in this society is because we act like we need it. That's like, it's a.
Well, you know, I like to get paid.
But technically, money doesn't have any value.
How much weed have you been smoking before the podcast? But
Yeah, you guys want to do a fun little exercise?
I'm not physical at all.
No, I meant okay.
Jumping jacks, let's go.
So I don't know what tuning this is in. Never mind.
Nope, Darian, nope. Put the guitar down. Put the guitar down. Put the guitar down, Darian.
All right. We're gonna do some improv, guys.
No, Darian, did we not just talk about this before the podcast? How we're not gonna do this? Darian, we're in a podcast. We're in a podcast. We're not in a party. So like, Darian. No, shut up, Darian. Darian, please stop.
What?
Please stop. I'm asking you very kindly in the way I can. Please stop.
Okay. But if there's a viewer watching, they actually want to hear me play guitar.
No, they don't. No, they really don't. I can
Just so
speak
you
for.
know, I've been playing for 9 years.
I speak for
over
the
9
people.
years.
I speak for the people. Darian. Alright, with that being said, guys, the podcast is over. It was good to hanging out with you guys today, and we hope
It
to
was
see
awesome
you.
hanging out with you guys. I love talking to you guys.
And if anything came off in a way that may have offended you, we apologize. Well, not really, because what we said, we said, and well, if never mind. Hey guys,
Honestly,
bye.
actually, know what we said. Before we close the podcast, I want to say it is our opinion, and you guys have the rights to your own opinions as well. So if you disagree with something we say, just don't take it too kindly to the heart, because these people out there that are so educated on everything that's going on right now, they're just going with the bandwagon. So I think instead of making another riot for something, and I literally told Noah this, Tommy, I don't know if you heard this, but back when
See,
they
there we
actually
go.
had a
I got
riot
Darian
for
talking
hockey.
again. I got Darian talking again, and he dropped his guitar. Let's go.
I'm joking.
Alright, go for it.
But I literally told Noah this, but there was 2 hockey teams that were playing for the Stanley Cup playoffs, which is like the final, and a team lost, and the whole city literally had a fucking riot because their team lost. They're flipping cars over, burning buildings and shit, I think.
So,
if we're gonna riot about that stupid shit and you get mad about people doing the same thing, I think peaceful protests should be mainly considered than burning someone's private business down who had no.
There was a riot that happened a little bit ago. I think it was like early 2000s. Um, and I forgot they were rioting about BLM at the time too, and they ended up burning down a man's house. I mean,
No, not a
not
house. They
man, it was
burnt
his
down this
property.
guy's
Yeah,
business, and he's
yeah. And
been
he
weirdly
was
working for it.
he was saying, I'm from the ghetto too, all this stuff, and he was like, I built
Yeah, I
this
seen that
up.
video.
He was like, I built this up for you. I built this up, and you guys treat it like this. Here's the thing. If you want to burn down property and be charged for arson, that's up to you. But at the same time, you have to be prepared to understand that if you don't know the business owner, you don't know his life story. I mean, you don't. And they're right. And it, I will admit, there's a lot of freaking people who made racist remarks for that lived in that area that shouldn't have been said, and they're horrible people. They're horrible, horrible people, and they got what was coming to them, but at the same time, I'm not condoning it because say you throw a brick because you want to riot, and it goes in through the window and kills a guy. Now you destroyed property and you murdered somebody. So kind of double charge you could get with right there. So don't riot. That's moral of the story. Do whatever you want to do, but just don't hurt people.
Peace and love, guys. Peace
Seriously,
and
man.
love.
Seriously, just okay. Where you at? But that's I don't know. Like on a serious, this is like a very like everything we said is very taboo right now, and we get into topics that are very taboo typically on podcasts, things like that, a majority of the time because these are the stuff that people don't want to talk about, because they're afraid of offending someone, and I don't everything in this video slash podcast that was said is all opinion based, like Darian was saying. This is not facts that we said, and we don't we do stand behind what we believe in, and we stand behind what yeah. So but we didn't say it to offend anybody. We said it to, just have a little discussion, just, see anybody's insight. Um, Basically, to give you a little insight, I'm Dead Tiger, Thomas, whatever you want to call me, and I support BLM. I just don't support murder. So,
And we also don't support pedophilia.
yeah, that's disgusting. I'm sorry, but if you're a pedophile, I don't like you. I'm sorry if that offends you. Well, actually, no, I'm not sorry that offends you. Screw you. Screw you. You're
You
disgusting.
guys are horrible people. I
You're
honestly
disgusting.
don't give a fuck about your lives anymore. And I hope to bring the death penalty back because of people like you guys.
Here, no. I talked to someone about this. I don't know if they want me to say their names. It is a mental issue, that they was it. It is a mental issue for somebody to be a pedophile and like a person who is a child. And if you want to keep that to yourself, keep it to yourself, please. If that's what you are desired, you're craving a kid. It's disgusting. It's gross.
Yeah, I was just about to say that's kind of defeating the purpose of.
Well, what I'm saying is don't act upon it is what I was trying to get at. I'm not trying to, that's what.
Yeah, you should have said that instead of making it seem like if there are pedophiles like that that actually do that.
No,
creepy fucking
what?
shit.
Sorry, let me rephrase that. Let me rephrase that. Let me rephrase that. If you are that way, don't act upon it. That's disgusting. Don't do that. Get help, seriously. Um, and when it boils down to it, I mean, seriously, just if you're into doing all that crap, dude, there's people who are kinky who are willing to act like that, dude.
Yeah. These fucking adult people in like diapers that actually want you to change your ass. So if you're really into that kind of fucking shit, then there's
If it's
people.
that of a desperate need, just keep it in the bedroom with that. Don't act upon it with a child because
Yeah, because or else you guys are gonna be on public TV with Chris Hansen. You'll be publicly
at
embarrassed and
Onision
exposed.
at Onision.
Onision, and
Shane Dawson, where you at? I, if you are trying to push that agenda onto your life about wanting a child, you are disgusting. You are gross, and if you act upon it, you're a horrible human being, and
and then,
I have
but
no sympathy whatever comes your way.
I guess like one thing that also, um,
Thank you guys for
is
also correcting me what I was trying to say. I appreciate it.
there's like the minimum like age for sexual consent in Canada, I think, which is like 16.
Yeah, it's 16 in
But
Ohio, at least Ohio.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah, 16. But honestly, I think that's kind of weird because you get someone who's over 18, could be like 25 or something, having intercourse with a 16-year-old. I think that's honestly weird as fuck. And uh, how can I say? I just think it's weird. Okay.
It's very weird.
I mean,
So,
I understand if it's like 16, she's 16, or he's 16 and she's 18, or he's 18. Honestly, myself personally, I will not date anyone 3 years.
disclaimer really quick. What Darian is trying to say, it's still gross, but if they have consent, they have consent. The reason why I'm giving a disclaimer is because if they do have consent and you guys do break up, you guys do not work out, and you guys leave each other's life in some horrible way or some gruesome way, she can get you for statutory rape. So don't do it because you can go to jail.
Yeah. Just consent. So that's what a lot of people are missing.
Consent
these days.
is
You got
hot.
these fucking guys who are like, oh yeah, I want to fucking smash baby and like shit like that. Like
Consent is
that's
sexy.
not how you get with a girl unless she's kind of a slut. Okay, I'm sorry, but there's girls out there that are kind of slutty.
Let's not
That
slut
would-
shame now.
Yeah, that's for another episode for another time in the future. Okay, let's just back away from this topic. All I'm just trying to say is, if she's 16,
Don't be disgusting.
Meet the minimum age requirement.
If she,
Fuck, I'm saying like a test.
if,
But like, if
you
it's
guys want to do something, if you guys want to do
legal
something
age-
and she's in the age requirement, okay, that's fine. It's so gross, but it's kind of okay. But she
it's
could
just,
still, you can
it's
still be
okay
tried.
if
You could
it's
still
like
be
a few
tried.
years within each other. Like, but if it's like I said, if they're 16 and you're 25,
You're gross.
then you got a fucking problem. That is jail bait.
No, but seriously, on a real
You're
note,
literally
guys.
half a century years old.
On a
Give us
real
someone
note,
your own age.
on a real note, guys, you guys really need to be careful with what you do. For starters, don't ruin your lives. Don't do something stupid where your life is
And
completely
don't
ruined.
go out with a girl just because she's hot. That's
Yeah, seriously, don't. Pretty girls will break your heart.
because then you're gonna have a lot of guys. Not only that, guys hitting her up. Like, there's one thing I fucking hate is how there's so many guys waiting in line, waiting for you to break up with the girl.
Never,
Just so they can fuck.
never get with a girl who, well, let's give a relationship advice. Here we are. never
I think
get.
we should just save all this shit for the next episode.
Well, no,
'cause
I
we've
have
been
this. I
keeping
have.
this one going.
I have this on my mind, so we're gonna get through it, and then we can be done with this podcast. Did
Okay.
someone say "Dear God"?
Yeah.
Noah. So basically, I know. Hey, man. Look, don't try to marry a girl after 3 months. Don't. 2.
And if you're drunk, please keep everything to
All
yourself.
right. Anyways, so let's also go down to the extent of, what are they called? Going down the route of when it boils down to it, know you love her. Just know you love her before you try to move in with her. And if a girl wants to call you manipulative because you're sitting here, trying to watch your mental health and hers at the same time, then man, screw it. Just dip at that point. Dip or be dipped. Hey, Darren, you got anything to say?
Uh,
That's not related
don't
to me
be
in any
silly.
aspect.
Wrap your willy.
True. You don't want to get
Unless she's
hey.
on birth control or she has the implant or whatever
Sharing
else.
is a little disclaimer too. Sharing is caring, unless it's an STD.
Sharing is caring,
Okay,
unless if
we'll
it's an
keep
STD.
everything else for the next podcast. I just hope you guys enjoyed this one.
All right.
It was
Well,
completely random. We did not know what to talk about until like 5 minutes before, so
yeah. So, yep. All right. Love you guys. Bye.
love you guys. Peace.
Bye, sisters.